Hello everyone. If I ask you a one simple question, can a private limited company become a public limited company without even changing its name? Most people would say no. But under the Companies Act 2013, the answer is yes. There is a concept called deemed public company, and sometimes many promoters and directors overlook its implication. तो हो सकता है कि आपकी प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी पे भी पब्लिक लिमिटेड कंपनी के प्रोविजंस लग रहे हों और आपने अब तक ध्यान ही ना दिया हो। आज की वीडियो में हम समझेंगे कि डीम्ड पब्लिक कंपनी क्या होती है, कंपनीज एक्ट का कौन सा सेक्शन उसे कवर करता है, एक प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी डीम्ड पब्लिक कब बनती है, क्या डीम्ड पब्लिक बनने के बाद प्राइवेट कंपनी को अपना नाम चेंज करने की ज़रूरत होती है, कौन से कंप्लायंसेस उस कंपनी पे एप्लीकेबल हो जाते हैं विद प्रैक्टिकल एग्जांपल। सो लेट्स बिगिन। तो सबसे पहले जानते हैं कि डीम्ड पब्लिक कंपनी क्या होती है। So a private company which is a subsidiary of a public company shall be deemed to be a public company। तो चाहे उस कंपनी के नाम में प्राइवेट लिमिटेड लगा हुआ है, लेकिन फिर भी अगर वो एक पब्लिक कंपनी की सब्सिडरी है तो उसको डीम्ड पब्लिक माना जाएगा। That is where many people get confused. They think our name still says private limited, so all the exemptions applicable to private limited shall continue. But that assumption may not always be correct. Let's understand this through an example. ABC Limited एक पब्लिक लिमिटेड कंपनी है जो अक्वायर करती है XYZ प्राइवेट लिमिटेड को। Now, since XYZ Private Limited has become subsidiary of ABC Limited, it shall be treated as a deemed public company. And here you can notice its name continue to remain XYZ Private Limited Company and it doesn't change to XYZ Limited. However, despite the name remain unchanged, certain provisions applicable to a public limited company become relevant. Now, why does this matter? ये इम्पॉर्टेंट इसलिए है क्योंकि बहुत सी कंपनियां डीम्ड पब्लिक बनने के बाद भी प्राइवेट लिमिटेड के कंप्लायंसेस को ही फॉलो करती रहती हैं, बट ड्यूरिंग ड्यू डिलिजेंस, सेक्रेटरियल ऑडिट, स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट, इन्वेस्टमेंट ट्रांजैक्शंस, मर्जर्स और एमसीए स्क्रूटनी, professionals first examine the status of the company, whether it's a private limited company, a public limited company, or a deemed public company. And if the company is a deemed public company, they evaluate whether the provisions applicable to a deemed public company have been complied with or not. Ignoring this can create compliance gaps. Now comes to the practical part. Whenever you identify that the company has become a deemed public company, you should review whether the provisions that are applicable to a public company have become applicable on your company or not. Depending on the facts, this may include restriction relating to loan and investments, acceptance of deposits, related party transactions, appointment and rotation of directors wherever applicable, managerial remuneration, secretarial and governance requirements, and even certain ROC forms filing may also become applicable to your company. Please remember, not every provision that is applicable to a public company automatically becomes applicable to your company. The applicability depends on the relevant rules, exemptions, and facts of each case. And therefore, a section-wise analysis should always be carried out. Now, let's quickly clear some common myths. Myth 1. A deemed public company should remove private from its name. That is incorrect. It continues with its existing name unless changed by the law. Myth number 2. It loses every exemption available to private limited company. Not necessarily. Applicability depends on the particular provision. Myth number 3. Only listed companies create deemed public companies. That is absolutely wrong. Any public company can create a private subsidiary. Listing is not the deciding factor. The biggest takeaway from today's videos is never decide the compliance requirements merely by looking at the company's name. Always understand shareholding pattern, holding subsidiary relationship, and the legal status under the Companies Act. The small distinction can create a significant difference during compliance reviews. If you found this video helpful, do like, share, and subscribe for more practical insights. And if there is any other topic you would like me to cover, do let me know in the comments.